Thanks for time. Are we on wait on one side? 17:29. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending this special council meeting. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Councillor Carr, Erskine and Jones.
Is there any disclosure of interest or grant dispensations?
And none have been received.
Right, I'm not doing the mayor's announcements because it's a special meeting and we've got quite a lot to go through and very little time. Minutes of the council meeting held on the 9th. Do we agree this is a true record?
Agreed. Agreed, seconded.
Second, please. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
There's no outstanding actions from that one. The committee meetings to be approved, community funding subcommittee 12th of November.
Correct. Yeah.
Everybody happy? Good. Item 7, decision report, strengthening the standards of conduct framework for the local authorities in England. I'll take it, Lynn, you can update this one.
Accounting. There's a consultation currently taking place from the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government regarding strengthening the standards in local democracy at town council level. And the consultation document has been circulated. I think there's about 30 something questions. I, with the town clerk and John as chair of governance, have gone through it and proposed some responses for the consultation. Everyone's had a copy of it. I don't know if anybody has any comments to make on any specific questions that were asked.
Everybody happy with the responses?
Yeah.
So is happy, is that great? Agree?
Great.
All agree?
Yeah.
Item 8, decision report.
Tuesday. With the recent result of the Newton by-election, it meant that Labour could have one more seat on each of the 3 main committees. We've received the changes to those, and it suggested that Councillor Campbell goes on the Environment and Community Development, and Councillor Nisbet returns back to the Governance Committee. So they're the Labour changes that have been put forward myself. It does, however, give the other groups, if they wish to change their membership for the remaining meetings of the council. Now, I haven't heard from anybody, and I think it's just to.
Caitlin Jones did say she was coming on partnership instead of Daniel. There's a note of that somewhere.
Yeah, I got it.
That's agreed.
Is that all agreed?
Yeah.
Great.
That was item 8, wasn't it?
So Deirdre, you're on
Item 9.
community development.
The next annual general meeting date is to be confirmed 13th of May instead of the 8th of May due to elections.
That's being the.
I'll be your day, I mean, sorry.
The reason for this is that normally the annual general meeting is held the week after the the voting day, which is the first of May. This year, the county council are going to do the count on the Saturday, which means that we will get the result on the next working day, which will be the Tuesday because of the bank holiday. This wouldn't give us enough time to notify all of the, you know, any of the existing people in this room and new councillors of that date. So what we're doing is we're suggesting the week after, which is the Tuesday, the 13th. And what we'll be doing is, it'll still be short time, but we intend to notify all of the people that are standing that they may be called to an annual general meeting on the 13th. What it will mean on the 8th of May, which was the original date that was planned, that's when that's the national VE celebrations. And the mayor's already booked in for 4 of those. So it was going to be very tight anyway before I'd got the results of the new town council.
Any questions? Everybody happy with that?
We'll see if I'll get back.
Anna?
How does it work for the mayor? Because is it not the AGM that decides the mayor?
The new mayor.
Well, the mayor changes that in the AGM.
Mm.
So Aileen will still be mayor.
Might not.
Aileen will actually still be mayor until she hands over the reins to somebody else. It is possible, Or a
Even for
count-
the election.
it is possible for the mayor as a current councillor
Okay.
either to stand down or not to win, but still be mayor for that period until she hands over
Yeah,
the
That
reins.
makes sense. That makes sense. That's what's confusing.
Okay? Yep. Excellent. Item 10, Project Shield. Elaine? Marty, who bought this one?
I'll this one, if you don't mind.
No, you've got a pen on the list. Sorry.
This initiative, Project Shield, was started off by the county council with the use of some community support officers working with the police and other youth and other agencies, and started about 15, 16 months ago. And it's not a high visibility approach by the police because, you know, when we're talking to the police, that immediately puts the kids off, puts the parents off who they get a lot of abuse from anyway. So this is a much more friendly, lower profile kind of approach to it. And already in those 15, 16 months, they've seen a 46% reduction in antisocial behaviour and a 27% reduction in the most serious crimes. It's the target, the areas where the trouble is, and they're proactive in those areas. It's not just a case of, you know, going and verbally saying we shouldn't be doing it. They have vans, they might have PlayStations in there, they might react with the kids. They've got detached units. So it's a much more friendly approach at motor life than causing antisocial behaviour. They get their funding from the Police and Crime Commissioner's office. And the Police and Crime Commissioner has already applied and waiting for a decision from the government on if she'll be getting some more money in this area to tackle, you know, the increased levels of antisocial behaviour. I think they're not part of it. They want to spread it into Blythe, but depending on the level of funding, if they get all the funding after, they'll not be after anything from the town council. But if they didn't get anything, they may be looking at £20,000 per annum. So it's really, this council's very keen on, you know, tackling antisocial behaviour. You know, support like the Silks, who's, you know, helping an awful lot. But it's really just to get your agreement and then for them to come back closer to the time and say, right, we've already got this, can you help us with that? The police are fully behind it, John Casey, the neighbourhood inspector, and it's really just, you know, up to yourself. The statistics in the last year, there was over 1,400 antisocial behaviour incidents in Blythe that have been recorded. So, you know, if you've got a similar reduction, you know, it's over 500-600. Reported baseline essentially.
Ask you again to say something.
Just regarding the fine rates, I would like to think that this council would put it out there on my Facebook, on my web page, because on the Facebook. Because at the moment, it's an election year, and Reform are putting out some really bad press release about, crime rates and that in Blyth. And we need some good news story from ourselves to say that's not the case, so the stats might be good to go on my Facebook page. And plus, this Protect Shield is a really good input. They're doing it at the house at the moment, and it's working really well. I had a meeting with Ian from Public Health yesterday, and one with the meeting.
Yeah.
And he said that it was working really well at Ashington at the house, so I think we've got to be more than welcoming in Blyth, because I think it sounds as though it's going to be really good.
Maureen?
Yeah, can I just ask a couple of things, really? The community safety officers, do we have 4 of those across the whole of Northumberland? Do we know?
They're from Northumberland County Council, but Ian's one of them. Community safety officer.
Because on a visit, people come on to in community development, the news of youth club. Last week, I think it was, there were 3 community safety officers there. Helping out with the youth club side of things at the pavilion. Doing a very good job by all accounts, and everybody was singing the praises. But I just wondered if it was the same 3 or 4 that they're talking about here. I'm guessing it must be, if there are only 4 across the whole county.
Yeah, I think the 4 that are in Cramley National will also be down here as well.
Yeah.
And also, we do sign to it. Police themselves got to put an extra presence, patrols in the town. Like it's an extra 2 hours
Mhm.
a night, I think, so. Or, you know, there's increased visibility from it.
Yeah. Do we know when the police and crime commissioner might be notified if she's getting any money, or do we know when that might happen?
2 weeks.
Next few weeks. Okay. I think it's a great idea. My only concern would be £20,000 coming out of community funding budget. Which would mean obviously a drop in funding for community groups, many of which would just be going around seeing what a fabulous job they're doing. So I'll fully support it, but I would suggest maybe the funding could come from somewhere.
I agree. I think it shouldn't be, I still don't think it should come out of the community fund in any way. I think it should come, because it's safety, the way does it sit? I think it should come out of something else.
Is there somewhere, another pocket?
Well, I mean, you know, we've got to review, you know, budgets all the time, really. I mean, you know, this year there hasn't been any increase at all in the council tax. You might decide for a, you know, a marginal increase next year to meet this, but certainly if, you know, if it was the maximum of £20,000, certainly the current financial model that we've got for the next 7 years, if you've seen it, you know, council recently, you know, an extra 20,000 could easily be met from balances at the moment without any detriment, you know.
Any other thoughts? No. So do we support it in principle, this project?
Yeah, agreed.
Is that everybody agreeing? Okay. Item 11. Draft plan consultation feedback. Elaine, would you like us to move?
No, it should be all right. It's on.
This represents state.
I share. You could just bear that one screen there. The planning consultant has reviewed all of the feedback that was received during the neighbourhood plan consultation, the regulation 14 consultation. And the feedback's been circulated in a table, and it was highlighted within that table where the planning consultant was recommending amendments to the draft plan. Now, any amendments to the draft plan needs to be agreed by full council. So it's recommended that you consider the amendments. I'm not going to go through them one by one because everyone's had a copy of them. And also there was feedback from the residents and consultees, mainly the residents, that wasn't actually relevant to neighbourhood planning. So in a second appendix that's been circulated, I've gone through the feedback and recommended responses based on council policy and how we would deal with things already. However, there is one item that the council is asked to consider, and that is in the feedback from one of the developers, I believe it was Miller Homes Lichfields. They questioned the value of an area of local green space. Not that one for him, I'll put it on the desktop. It's location detail on the desktop. That's a weird document. So this location plan that I've done sort of just gives you a bit of context as to where it is. It's just off the Laverick Hall Road. And there's a strip of local green space that's been proposed. And the town council has, when it was assessed as a local green space, has said that we think it meets the criteria of local green space because of its community value. But the developer is questioning, particularly the woodland bit immediately next to the roundabout. They're questioning the community value of that and whether it actually does meet the criteria. So it's a decision you need to make as to whether, do you want to retain this section, just the woodland here? That bit is still to be kept as a local green space, but just this bit of woodland coming off the roundabout. Do you wish to retain it as a local green space, which gives it the same protection as greenbelt land, or do you wish to remove that from the local green space designation?
Is that the one where they're going to do the new relief road? No, I'm a bit mixed up on the map there. Yes, no?
Nearby.
It's nearby.
I mean, if we can, I think, yeah, the strip is the old railway line.
Yeah.
And where the roundabout is, there's a few trees there which are worth keeping if we can.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure where the relief road's gonna go, because I haven't decided exactly yet, but it's coming off that roundabout somewhere. So,
Malcolm, did you want to say?
Yeah,
but whatever we do in our plan, I mean, we can override it if it needs to.
I was gonna say, if there's a roundabout, you can have a road coming off the roundabout, that's the. So it's protected, you stop a road front. And it's coming off it, so wherever those fields are, whatever they have to do.
Anna?
You won't stop it if the balance on the planning application weighs out the road's got more benefit even on, you know, it would have to go at. It is the entrance to that wooded area to walk up, and it does seem a shame not to include it, but I guess the developers obviously, I don't know, it seems a bit strange why they would just want that little bit. Did they give any more detail on that little bit?
They said,
Yeah, I mean, there is, that company obviously got eyes on building up houses in that field, but
Yeah.
they haven't got permission yet. It's outside the building line, as I'm aware.
I'd be minded to keep it in as,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Sorry, Sonia.
Yeah, I was going to say, I will keep it in because just going back to the relief road that we can't build because Phil Simmons has built houses on it. If Miller got permission to, in the future, build houses on there, and we wanted a relief road there, we'd then have problems and, you know, the complications of there being houses built on and you couldn't put a relief road in. I think county, if they wanted to put a relief road in and we had designated it as local green space, I think they'd still put the relief road in, and I think they'd be justified in doing that, but I wouldn't want to give it to a developer.
Any other comments? So are we in agreement to keep it as a green space?
I'll be using all the. So, news.
And we'll just go back and confirm that you're happy to accept the proposed amendments from the consultant.
Is all happy to accept?
Can I just, sorry, Chair, can I just mention though, Deirdre's just, is a new councillor and she doesn't know nothing about this neighbourhood plan. So it's just a bit of deduction to it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's yours, isn't it? Because I mean,
Absolutely,
it's
yes.
keeping in the dark.
Yeah, well, the town council have been working on a neighbourhood plan since I believe 2022. And they've done various consultations with the community on local green spaces and heritage assets. They have had an independent housing needs assessment carried out and determined that there was no need for additional housing in Blythe because the target figures in the Northumberland local plan have already been met or intended to be met. And the stage we're at with the neighbourhood plan is the pre-submission draft consultation, which we carried out between November and January, where all of the town got the opportunity to provide feedback and have a look at the draft plan, the background papers that go with it. We did receive some feedback, not much, but some. And now we have to consider that feedback, which we have a fantastic planning consultant working with us on the neighbourhood plan. And she's reviewed all of the feedback and come back with us with some proposed amendments based on the feedback that's been received. So we have to consider those amendments, whether we accept them or not. And then once they're accepted, we formally submit our plan to the Northumberland County Council. An independent examiner is brought in to review how everything's been done and also review the plan. Then the independent examiner comes back with amendments, if any, that we have to consider whether to take them on board or not. And then ultimately the plan goes to a referendum for the whole town to decide whether they wish the plan to come into force or not. But the neighbourhood plan is a set of planning policies that are specific to Blythe only.
So I can ask, does that include social housing? Do you think there's sufficient social housing?
Well, the housing needs assessment, now there is a background paper I can share with you and it does go into much more detail, but the background paper looks at the housing in Blythe, the housing that's allocated, and has determined that the numbers have been met as per the county's local plan, which suggests how many houses are required in Blythe. I'm happy to share that with you after the meeting, you can have a look at it.
It's just that there are a lot of, I mean, big developers which have built quite a lot of properties, but you know, it's not everybody that can afford to buy a house. And I believe, you know, that there is a shortage of social housing because property is so expensive, young people cannot get a mortgage. You know, it's not like the affluent areas of the northeast. And when you see the number of people on the housing list, there is a need for social housing. Everybody talks about, you know, building homes. Even the government are continually talking about more homes, but it's fine so long as it includes a lot of social housing. Like I said before, everybody can't get a mortgage, everybody can't afford a mortgage. And there'll always be a need for social housing, but it seems to be pushed back a bit.
Can we discuss housing at a different time?
Thank you for that anyways. Thank you.
But I will share that document with you.
Thank you.
I just said We didn't include housing, because if we did, it would be a much longer timescale. We have to go back to county to get loads of information from them. So there's nothing specific about types of housing in there.
So 3 recommendations to think about is the recommended amendments of the planning console, the recommended officer's response to feedback, and whether to remove or retain the small wooded area in the southern part, LGS 20.
Now, I just comment on the response there, just the second one down about trees. We did take all the trees out of the marketplace, but I think we were informed all those trees were dying, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
So they'll have to come out anyway, which might be worth mentioning. And I can't remember exactly what the situation was with the nursery next to the park. I think the owner had closed that down himself, didn't he? So it wasn't any decision of the council as such, as far as I remember. The owner decided to close his business down, so nothing we could have done about that, really. And then right down the bottom end, the third from the end about seagulls and habit in the town centre. And I think we have had signs up there saying, please don't feed the birds, but people still throw seeds up there. So just those two really that I wanted to comment on.
There's a feasibility study ongoing on the nursery in the park, to see whether it can become a car park or a Ridley Park. Ease the pressure off in that area. You know, where it's on what the forest on, but that study is.
Swanee?
Sorry, I came in quite early, sorry, I finished work, so apologies. Just thought the back end of this about the woodland along this trail here. What is, sorry, I've obviously missed what you were talking about. But was it, is it being considered as taking them trees down, is it, or?
No, in the feedback to the neighbourhood plan, one of the consultees has questioned the community value of not all of these trees here, but this the bit immediately next to the roundabout.
Right, okay.
The developers questioned the value of them, whereas the town council have allocated it all as a local green, the proposed local green space, because we believe it meets the criteria in being of community value. The developers questioning the bit near the roundabout of being of community value. But the members have, I believe, agreed to keep it in, saying they wish to retain the community value of it and keep it as a local green space.
Apologies for going back over.
Any more questions or agreement?
Yeah.
Position report number 12 is the room hire. Council chambers.
We received a request from a resident about booking the council chamber for a public meeting of approximately 30 people. And I responded stating that the council chamber wasn't available for public hire based on how it's been operated since I've been here. And I was asked whether there was a policy relating to the hire of the council chamber, to which there doesn't appear to be. I was able to find a record of the policy working group considering it in 2013. But the report details that we have looked into this, and under the conditions of the lease, we're unable to sublet, so you would be unable to let out the council chamber for public hire at a charge. If you opened it up for hire at no charge, then there's other items you would need to consider, such as the security of the building, the staff resource, etc. Because obviously the council chamber is immediately attached to a working office. There's the keypad at the entrance, security fobs, etc. So you'd have to, if there was meetings in the evening, you'd have to have somebody here to let people in. And the council may wish to consider this request.
Yeah, we did discuss this a few years ago, but probably didn't have a specific policy on it. we agreed not to hire the chamber out, but just seemed to cause so many other issues. It wasn't worthwhile doing it, and as you said, you wouldn't want people just coming in at night time here, because you've got full access to the whole building, unless you start erecting new doors and things, so I would say just don't hire it out.
I would agree.
Does everybody agree, or is there any other comments? Sorry, Anna.
I was just gonna say, like, on that comments, there's plenty of places in Blythe that are desperate for people to
Yeah.
use their rooms, and some places will probably do that at greatly reduced costs or a no cost if they've, say, got bars attached and things like that. I just feel that there isn't a need, and whilst we're trying to promote community venues, and we've had lots going on, haven't we, with community venues saying that they're worried about the Margaret Pavilion and the effect of the Margaret Pavilion. I don't think there's a need even to warrant it, and I feel the same as John, that there's too many additional things and additional costs and logistics that make it unfeasible, so yeah, I don't think we should.
I would think as long as they realised it was a condition of our lease, they wouldn't actually do this, you know, that they shouldn't be able to come back for it. I certainly wouldn't want to lease it out anyhow.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement to say that we don't hire out because of the complications that's been listed.
Yeah.
Number 13, decision report and commitment to support youth provision.
This has been brought forward as the town council already does provide quite a bit of support to youth provision, and a recommendation that the council agrees a strategic priority to continue that support.
Any comments?
As long as we're keeping it on the burner going, because, there's still a lot out there that we need, you know what I mean, part of Cramondon is building a brand new youth centre thing. So we need to keep on board with what we're doing, and if anything comes up again, to keep it going,
So we continue supporting the youth.
yes.
Is that everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other business? From anybody? That's 27th February, the 13th.
If I can just say that agenda item 15, the date of the next meeting, we haven't issued a report yet, but if you can just be mindful, that will be calling a special council on 27th of February, immediately following the Environment Committee. Again, that report hasn't gone in for us, and need to have a special council to consider the result of the Environment Committee. It'll just be a brief one.
And that concludes today's meeting. Thank you very much. And for the tea. Put your feet up.
They,
I have no idea, I've just got paper.